You know what I love about it being 3 o'clock in the afternoon on like a Tuesday? The guy that's cutting those leaves and whatever he's doing that you can hear, he wasn't doing that before. All day he's been quiet, and I chose to film now. We're gonna talk through it because I have about an hour to do this and then I gotta bounce. Let's see if he stops when I'm talking and not gets worse. Hi, how are you? Hope you've been well. Nope. Alright. We're gonna do a coffee talk today because the 2 videos that I wanted to film, can't film. Am I in the frame? Centered? Dead centered? The 2 videos that I wanted to film. Let's talk about those. One of them was, we kind of hinted at it, my sister and I, from the last video. I wanted to do her makeup. Oh, that's strong coffee. Excellent. I wanted to do her makeup, and I was gonna do it today because she had somewhere to go, but that was cancelled, those plans, and it's 30 degrees, so the makeup, it's a chore to wear makeup on a day like this. I wore my makeup because I had plans today, and I didn't do them because it's 31 degrees. And the plans weren't beach, so we didn't do them. The other video I wanted to do, I talked about it maybe 3 videos ago. It was about visual art, painting, right? Remember? And what I said was that I wanted to introduce art to this channel because I miss sweet silence. I miss being an artist. And I don't know if I mentioned then, and I can't remember because I didn't watch it. I'm gonna mention it now. I wanted to be an artist when I was younger. And the reason I'm not is because I had a teacher in high school that basically was saying to us it's impossible to make a living as an artist. And she tried to introduce to us digital media, digital marketing. As someone who draws and wanted to learn how to paint and do all this like ceramic stuff, being told that art isn't gonna cut it, it kind of sucked, to say the least. I wanted to study fine arts in uni. I didn't. I went on and studied theatre. Because I had myself convinced that you can't make a living as an artist. So I didn't. And then social media happened, which I'm not that old that we didn't have social media. I think Instagram 2009, 2010 it started, and in my final year of high school, it was 2012. So we had social media, but it wasn't the like mammoth of a thing that it is now. So there are artists that have made a living, that have begun to expand their horizons through social media, selling either artwork or prints, tattoo artists, makeup artists. I've seen it. And I'm sitting here thinking, if they can do it, why not me? I want to be an artist. I want to paint. I want to put what I feel in here on a canvas. And I started trying to find ways to be an artist without being an artist. I studied makeup. I did lighting design. You know, even with dance, I thought maybe I could progress with that. I didn't. That's another story for another day. And I started this channel to be an artist, to be a makeup artist. And I think it shows in the views that I've gotten for specific videos and the response that I've gotten from those same videos. Body painting was the thing that was working most for me. And I think that's because I love it. I love painting. It's just the hassle of doing it on me and having the limited canvas, which is my body frame. You know what I mean? So I took that as a sign to mean I wanted to pursue art. So that's the long story of something I've said in a previous video, but I can't remember which video. Because I wanted to start this on YouTube, introduce it, you know, start painting and grow from... Oils was never my forte. I tried it once and it was very hard, and I was in a classroom setting and I dropped it because I sucked at it. But I thought, you know what, if I hold myself accountable, if I do it through YouTube, I can see my own growth, I can see my own progression, and we can take it from there. So, I bought it was like a case that doubles as a, what's it called, an easel that sits up on my desk, so I can open it up, have my tools inside of it and paint, and I can travel with it and whatever. I bought that. I have it inside. I also bought a ring light that you can attach to a table and have it either face down onto the table as you draw, or like angle it up so you can see the canvas as I paint. But, and this is a very long story for my point, but hang in there. The clamp doesn't fit on this table outdoors. The table here is this thick. The clamp is about that. That's the extension of the clamp. I cannot put it on this table. And to paint inside, the table that we have inside, it's like slanted underneath, so I can't clamp it onto the table. And in order to paint with oils, you need a well-ventilated area, so outside would be preferred, especially when it's like 30 degrees. You don't want to be painting inside with terps and stuff, you know? So I bought the tools, I have the oil paints, I have the brushes from years ago, I have canvases, I have everything. But I can't physically set up and paint. So, I still want to do it, and I still want to introduce that to my channel, I just can't do it yet. So, that was originally what I wanted to film and post for this week. And then last week, my sister styled my hair the way that she styles her own hair. We discovered that I might actually have curly hair. It was a good time. And she suggested that I do her makeup for this week's video, which I do still want to do, but there's like a time schedule, you know, between work, the heat, when I'm busy, when I'm not busy. So we want to do that. I do want to do that. I think it'll be fun, just not for today. So I'm going to sit here and talk to you about what's been happening instead. And I am really bummed that I can't take my art to YouTube for this next phase, because I really want to. I really want to be an artist. And with what I'm planning this year, which is less than 2 months from today, and we'll talk about it eventually, I want to be able to do that for a living. I want to be able to paint and sell art for a living. And as much as I love realism and hyperrealism and real fantasy creative art, I also love abstract art for homes. That's a very specific niche, I know, but I'm getting very into wabi-sabi and feng shui and just zen environments, earthy colors, earth tones, as well as dark colors. I don't know, it depends on how I feel in the moment, right? And as much as I love realism and hyperrealism and all that stuff, surrealism, abstract art I feel it more. And I'm sure, whether or not you're an artist, when you look at a extremely realistic rendition of something, you can think, wow, the skill that went into that, the effort, the talent, the time, you know, the education, whatever it is that went into this work is incredible. But to a lot of people, that's all it is. It's beautiful. You're looking at it wow, this is beautiful. I can't believe every detail of hair, every glint in the eye. But that's where it kind of stops for me. I can appreciate the skill that goes behind it, the technical aspect behind it, but the stuff that I feel is abstract. I love art as well that's part of the environment. So when I walk into a home, and one day when I build my own home, I don't want to have photographs on the walls, because to me that feels like clutter. But one big image, one big painting of structured color that enhances maybe peace or tranquility or a zen, beautiful environment that I can only do through abstract art. That's what I want to do, right? And to start off, abstract art is hard. So to start off, you need to start with learning realism, learning color theory, which, I know color theory, I know realism, but I know it in, dry pastels or graphites, or, you know what I mean? So oils is a whole new thing for me. And I gotta start from scratch. So that's what I want to do, like that's where I want to be, and this is where I'm at now. I don't know how I'm going to get there, and I do want to introduce it, but oils might have to wait. In saying that, I do have dry pastels, I do have graphites, I have like colored pencils, watercolored pencils, and charcoals. So with the ring light that I have that points down at a table, I could arguably create art in those mediums and introduce art that way and have like a progression of that. You know what I mean? Until I can get to doing oil paints or whatever. And that's been on my mind the past 2 weeks, and I've thought about it, and I don't know how it'll be received. Part of me doesn't really care as long as I get to paint again. But like, that was half of why this video is going to be what it is today, and half of why I feel like I'm disappointing if I don't put out art. The other half is I'm going through, I keep forgetting this coffee is here. I'm going through a phase right now, hang on, where I'm not motivated. I'm inspired, but I'm not motivated, which sucks. Because normally when we are inspired, we act on it, right? Like it's usually we lack inspiration, but we want to get something done. I have the inspiration, I want to get so much done, but I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs because I don't know. So it's been 2 weeks since my last upload. I've written down so many ideas, and I can't seem to get up and do any of them. And I think in a way, when I realized that the clamp didn't clamp onto my tables, and I didn't, like, behind me is just a wall, I don't have a stand where I can put a separate ring light and film, I realized I kind of felt like, whew, okay, that's good then. Because I don't feel motivated to paint. So I don't know how to get through this right now. And I don't know if it's because since I've been living with my family and I'm not in the city anymore, I don't have that rush of I need to get everything done. Like, if you hear the birds in the background, before the guy was blowing the leaves out of his yard, like, it's the middle of Tuesday. It's a Tuesday afternoon. And I think my priorities are just somewhere else for now. I'm resting. You know, I'm working out. I've made my routine. I work out twice a week. I go walking twice a week. I do admin stuff. I get a lot of admin stuff, like appointments and stuff, sorted throughout the week. And it's hot. And maybe it's just a summer thing, an end of holidays thing, and a lot of people feel this way, but that's where I am right now. So I know what I want, I know how to get there, but I'm just sitting. And it's not very satisfying at all. I guess something I want to know, how do you get through something like that? When you feel unmotivated, but you are inspired, what do you do? Do you do anything to break out of that lack of motivation, or do you just wait because you know that this is the time for your body to rest? Because I've been doing a lot of inner work throughout 2024. Was a very big inner work year, and I started listening to my body, like what I eat, what I consume, how often I need to sleep, you know, how much sunlight I need, stuff like that. And I've started kind of respecting when my body needs rest, as opposed to feeling guilty for not being productive. So I changed my idea around what productivity meant to me, and it's fixed a lot. Should I show you? I'm going to show you because I don't know if I can explain it. So I have, whoops, I dropped my pen. I have this day planner, which is a yearly planner, and my productivity, I've taken filming and editing out of my productivity, and I've added just creativity. Anything that I do that's creative, right? Whether it's drawing, whether it's designing something, whether it's making art, whether it's editing, that's creative. And what I've done is I've got down meditating, reading, writing, dancing, creating, learning, and active. And I've tried to make it like every single day I'm doing something. And that's now my productivity chart. It's not like today I did nothing. No, it would be like today, for instance, the last day of January, I meditated, I read, I wrote, I learned a few things, like through documentaries and stuff. That was ultimately a productive day. You know what I mean? So I've shifted my productive mindset into, instead of getting physical things done, a lot of these are, what do I need? Today I want to sit and read. I'm resting. This is also productive. It's productive for me. And like, it's made me feel a lot better because my inspiration has come back. Whereas before, I was motivated to get stuff done, but I had no inspiration. So in changing my productivity mindset and putting like self-care first, my inspiration came back. But what do you do? So I've spoken to some friends about it, and they're just like, you just have to do it. You have to get it done. And like, I understand that about 90%, like to a degree, I understand that. You just have to get it done. That's common sense. It has me thinking, like, what am I afraid of? Do you ever get those thoughts as well? Existential crisis L coming in. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of ridicule? Not really, because my art is mine. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of being vulnerable? Possibly, because art is vulnerable as well. It's like, for the same reason that I could never be a singer despite having learned technically how to sing. And I guess coming on here and asking, like, does vulnerability stop you from doing things, like from taking next steps? Or does it ever get to a point where you know exactly what you want and how to get there, but something is stopping you? And it's like, I don't know, if it's like a emotional gravity kind of holding you down, being like, hang on, not yet. I don't know. But those are all my thoughts. I wanted this year to be like, I made a reading list, and I wanted to be able to read a book per month, which isn't a lot. A book per month is generous when books can be read in like a weekend. And like, I'm in February now. I'm still reading the book that I started reading in January, and it was this one, Courage to Be Disliked. I'm almost finished it. I've got like 60 pages left. And like, this is part of my inner work year that I was talking about. When it came down to it, you know that book, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck? I read that maybe 3 years ago, and it's one of those books where it's common, let me put that down, it's common sense. So you're reading that book, and he's basically saying, why do you care? And as you're reading it, you're like, well, I don't care. Why do I care? I don't care. And everything's like, that's how I read that book. Like, I don't care about any of this. And I realized the problem wasn't caring about what other people thought, like on a shallow level. It was about caring what people thought on a personal level. And I think this is where I make the link. When I say that I'm stuck creatively, like in active, like in doing things, when I'm stuck just before I get it done, the courage to be disliked, as in, if I'm being vulnerable on canvas and that gets shredded, that scares me. So hopefully by the time I finish this book, because so far it's very insightful, hopefully by the time I finish this book, I can understand it as like a complex that I have, not a complex that other people have with me. You know what I mean? Because when I read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, again, it was very commonsensical. It was very, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what other people think. Like, for instance, what other people think of what I look like, I don't care. What other people think of who I am, I kind of care. A little bit, like. So, trying to leave that behind maybe will make me a great artist, maybe will make me very much more confident in my decisions, much more confident. whatever. And I'm hoping that the two work together, because I think... Okay, I've waited for the leaf blowing to stop, just so I can get, like, the final parts of this video, this outro, done. And to the point, because I couldn't even get to the point. The point was, I have inspiration. I want to be an artist. I want to go through that journey here with you. But physically and technically, I'm struggling with how I'm going to set that up, how it's going to happen. So I'm just trying new things behind the scenes. But maybe I'll try the, dry pastels, I've got watercolors, I've got graphites, charcoal, onto a book, onto a table, and we can film that way. It won't be in oils, which is what I want to be able to sell one day. But art is art, and like getting that creativity to flow is like the main thing. While simultaneously trying to get through the fear of vulnerability, which this book, by the way, has been very insightful, very helpful, The Courage to be Disliked. He talks about Freud and Jung and Adler, and he incorporates ancient Greek philosophy into it as well, but it is a very... eye-opening isn't the right word, it's confronting. So, a lot of the time, I find myself not wanting to believe what philosopher is telling the youth, because my reactions are the same as the youth's, and then the philosopher explains it, and I'm like, oh. Alright then, you win. So it's confronting in that way, and I love stuff like that. So hopefully that gets me through the fear of being vulnerable, because I think that's what it is. And then again, at the same time, being motivated. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day editing, so I can get this video up on time. But hopefully by the next one I can either have a makeup video up or something like to do with art, and we can get that ball rolling. So I'll be here for just under 2 months left, and then everything will change all over again, so bear with me. Thank you for talking with me today. My coffee is finished and I do have to go, but thank you for watching. If you did like this video, please leave it a like, and if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing. When I say that on talk videos, on coffee talk videos, I don't feel like there's much to subscribe on, because I do the coffee talks every now and then when I need to just clear my head and get words out into the ether. But yeah, if you like that kind of content, subscribe for that. If not, subscribe for the art that you don't even know if it'll be good, because I don't even know if it'll be good. Have a lovely rest of your week, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.